The ZenBook 14 is a very promising shakeup to the Asus laptop line. It's smaller, lighter, and better looking than any of the previous models, without having to sacrifice either ports or powers. There aren't many laptops around that can offer you a 1.4-inch display in a body this compact while still giving you USB-A and HDMI ports, not to mention a Core i7 processor. Unless you're an Excel addict, you can probably safely ignore the glowing numpad. It's a fun gimmick, but most of us will probably forget it's even there, and without tactile feedback it's hardly a proper replacement for the keys. Still, this is a strong enough laptop elsewhere that it doesn't need that gimmick to get by, and there's plenty to recommend it otherwise. The latest version of the Asus ZenBook only came out in the UK this summer, but the company isn't wasting any time getting an updated version out, having used IFA 2018 to unveil a huge redesign to the whole ZenBook line. Along with a total design revamp for all three models, 13IN, 14IN, and 15IN, the two smaller versions also include one very novel new feature, an numpad built into the touchpad. We got the ZenBook 14 into the office to test out, and here's what we think of the slimmer, lighter, and light-up laptop. The new ZenBook 14 is on sale now, though pricing and options vary a little by market. In the UK right now you can buy it from Very for £999 with a Core i5 processor, 8GB of RAM and 256GB storage, while John Lewis also offers a faster i7 model with 8GB of RAM and 512GB storage for £1,199. Contrast, in the US it costs $1,199 on Amazon or Newegg, but this model comes with a Core i7 processor, 16GB RAM, and 512GB storage, an awful lot more performance for roughly the same price as the base UK model once you do the currency conversion. Thanks to the new bezels and other design tweaks, this is a seriously small laptop, with a 92% screen-to-body ratio and a build that's smaller than most 13IN laptops, let alone rival 14IN models, measuring 31.9 x 19.9 x 1.59 cm. It's pretty light too, weighing just 1.19 kilograms with the standard screen. There are a couple of slim rubber pads on the back of the hinge so that you don't scuff the metal finish, but they're small enough to avoid detracting from the look of the device when closed. And the whole apparatus, much like the rest of the laptop itself, still feels sturdy and solid. There's no particular sense that longevity has been sacrificed for style here, and if anything the cooling benefits could help the laptop's internals run well for longer. More interesting than the fancy hinge, though likely to actually matter to fewer people, is the ZenBook 14's touchpad, which pulls double duty as a replacement numpad too. Most of the time it's just a standard touchpad, but hold your finger over the top right corner for a second or two and a full numpad, complete with basic mathematical functions, illuminates across the surface. Laptop keyboard with a fairly unobjectionable typing feel and a shallow action, though Asus has done a nice job of keeping it low and flat against the body of the laptop. The slightly elevated angle from the new hinge is a nice perk, but it really is barely noticeable. Oh, and it's backlit, with 3 different brightness settings. As we've said, specs vary a bit by region, but either way you're getting an 8th gen Intel processor, backed up by either 8 or 16GB of RAM, and 256 or 512GB SSD storage. UK and US models seem to be limited to Intel's integrated UHD Graphics 620, but some markets also have the option of a discrete NVIDIA GeForce MX150, which would give the ZenBook enough oomph for basic gaming performance too.